There's been a lot of change in the animation industry over the past few years, not only for movies but TV shows and generally everything else. You have shows like Gumball that took a big risk visually and it ended up really paying off in the end. Like, I don't think I've seen many TV shows that have been able to match it, not only in animation quality but also in humor and writing, because it must be said that clever writing is key to making any entertainment good.
Spend all the money!
Well, it seems rather a shame not to.
Yes, Papa, it wasn't even earning interest.
My gosh, I miss this show. TV series animation has seemingly evolved over time though. I mean, we had some pretty ugly looking shows in the mid 2000s, saved by that oh so witty writing.
If I have to take out one of my own, I'll do it. Just ask Manfredi and John.
This was such a good running gag. Don't mind me just indulging in my childhood, because I'm a person constantly reliving nostalgia. I don't know, is that weird? Like, do you guys do that too? Am I oversharing? Now we have TV shows that seem like they're getting closer and closer to that film quality, which is really impressive to me. Despite all the corner cutting series productions usually have to go through, one technique for TV shows that was artistic, seemingly cheaper and yet effective, but has been picked up in film and popularized recently has been lower frame rate animation, particularly implemented for action sequences. This technique is practically the soul of a lot of anime entertainment, as it can make for very engaging movement and oddly enough bring a sense of speed and impact to battle sequences. That's why it's been picked up in so many recent animated films. These films often implement 2D effects like action lines, which often mesh very nicely with lower and sometimes higher frame rate action. It's very reminiscent of hand-drawn animation, where these techniques first originated, such as smear frames and duplication. Now, I've had a handful of people comment in my previous videos stating how they don't get why everybody praises / likes lower frame rate animation as used in Spider-Verse, Puss in Boots, etc. First off, don't you dare diss these movies, which both have amazing stories that are worth loving even without the animation. If you're not into this style, there's probably not a lot I can do to change your mind, but I can maybe enlighten you on why me and majority of people like it. When low frame rate is used in action movies, it's almost always out of artistic intent. Less frames in animation, an appropriate amount of lessening, not the overly choppy type, tends to make action poses stick to our minds a lot better, because the movement is slowed, thus spending a little more time on screen. If done correctly, it can make the character's movements seem even more impactful, striking, and bold. It can also allow for more wild sequences when it comes to playing with physicality. For example, the opening fight scene with Puss vs. the Giant. The action lines working together with a lower frame rate allows for the animators to really play around with the physics and do all types of things with Puss that might not look quite as believable if the animation were, say, more realistic. Because believability has a lot to do with this new style. With more realistic styles, there's limitations for what the characters can do before it starts looking wonky or weird, whereas a simpler style along with the frame rate change of course can allow the characters to move around so much more freely. There's such a wide appeal to this particular style, and with this generation being so obsessed with anime culture, I think it's really great that the creators of Spider-Verse, even shows like Tron Legacy, were able to see that and tap into one of the aspects that has made anime so successful to begin with. This show was amazing and we never got a second season? Oh yeah, but Boss Baby needs 4 seasons. Okay, this show ended up being pretty decent, not gonna lie. There's also the argument that in video games, lower frame rate equals bad. While I certainly understand this despite me not being a big gamer, I know, I play mobile games though. Needless to say, my mind does not register lower FPS as a negative thing. But it should be noted that movie and video games are two totally different entities. One is meant to be interacted with, while the other is purely speculation. Forget we the people, we the audience. Now, as for anyone who feels low frame rate animation is starting to feel overused, I can agree in some aspects. Ever since Spider-Verse did it, it seems like everyone wants a piece of it, and seemingly for no particular reason. It's even more confusing when studios seem to be copying a stop motion style when stop motion hasn't done very well, popularity wise or financially in the past decades. So sad. I just hope that movie and TV studios realized this style worked in those movies because they complemented and fit the story and the world, not because it just looked cool. Anyways, just wanted to drop a little knowledge. I'm done now. Time for a new section I'm calling comment/romantic music time. Thanks for your love of my DreamWorks Boy vid. Part 2 will be here soon. Yes, Quirky C23, DreamWorks Boy was probably like, does he bite? They're like, don't worry about it. Instead, this comment is hilariously clever, thank you. The new TMNT trailer has gotten a mixed reception, but this reply made my week. Psychedelic Pyromaniac, you would be surprised by how many people answer yes.